Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Tuesday. That's right, it's Tuesday. Welcome to the Closing Beat. I got something cool I want to share with you here today. We've been waiting for a long time for this one, and with a little bit of patience, we got the dough-kart. Look, it looks so tiny over here. I'm gonna put the light on it. It looks so tiny over here, but it's actually really big. It's just because we're far away. There it is. Super cool. It's all electric and everything. Super fast. And if I could just say real quick, we accidentally broke the wall. So we got a broken thing. Our wall's busted. When we got it, you see like this crack thing here? Yeah, when we plugged it in, it just took off. So the dough-kart just took off and just smashed into the wall, broke our glass and everything. Yeah, we got it now. We know how to ride it, all is good, but oh man, how cool is that? In all seriousness though, we do sort of silly things like this because talking to a financial advisor is pretty intimidating. We actually have a number of customers in Texas in the NCIS division, and they all say that they're more scared to talk to financial advisors than to talk with some of the hardened criminals of Texas. And so we try to do things like that. Number one, we show the geeky stats and the education and everything to obviously build up credibility so you know we're not just goofballs. But then we like to share fun stuff as well so you know that we're a personal company and somebody you can really tell anything, your financial problems and successes, and you don't have to worry about somebody judging you or anything. So it's just been super fun to do that. And we initially had a little left over in our prop budget, but now our prop broke our wall, and so now we're back in the negative again because we've got to fix the wall. Oh, anyways, we'll make a video on that soon. We've been racing it up and down the streets. Everybody's looking at us funny, but that's what we have there. We're here to talk about the stock market today, though. Of course, you guys want to take a look at that, see how things are going. Basically an average day. Stock market actually performed exactly average if you look at its historical performance. We'll go through all that stuff and I'll share some of the good stuff with you here. Also from a planning perspective, I'm going to spend a lot of time on withdrawal strategies. I know this is maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but we all focus so much on the stock market and the good investments and making sure we're positioned as efficiently as possible. But we work with retirees as well. And so a lot of times what you don't get to see is our planning on the back end for withdrawal strategies. A lot of times you can add returns by simply withdrawing differently. I'm going to be really pushing that because I'm finding dollars constantly for customers and how we actually remove their earnings throughout the years and everything. So really huge there. You know I'll geek out on that and share everything with you. Before I move on, the rest of the week, we're not going to do any shows here. We got a go-kart to race. So there'll be no closing beat, but also the stock market's closed on Friday, Christmas Day, of course. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Hope you have a good time there. And so that'll be that. Stock market today, basically low volume, sort of chopping around, very much average performance. We take a look at the S&P here. Let's start with the Russell, because the Russell had a good day, actually. So the Russell was the best today. It's up 20% year to date, 11% in just the last 1 month there. If you're looking inside of it, large cap growth was all the excitement, and it continues to be. In our small cap fund, in our small cap fund, the growth portion and the value portion is what's really dragging up all of our returns, or I should say boosting up our returns there. If you're looking inside of there, like the Russell 2000, you can find Penn National is one of the exciting ones there. They get a lot of attention, obviously very public and social type of company there. Up 3.25% on the day, hitting new 52-week highs there. It's also the best over the last 1 month, meaning the best contributor, certainly not the best gainer there. Like I said, today's small cap growth was your leader, whether you're looking at Russell Futures, looking at the IWM, however you like to look at the Russell 2000. That was the leader, has been the leader, continues to be the leader. You got to recognize that if you're playing along there. In the NASDAQ there, Apple was your biggest contributor here today. This is the NASDAQ futures. I'll jump over real quick to Apple. We'll cover some of the news later. They're building cars, apparently, self-driving cars. So that's the news there. PayPal came in second place here today. A killer performer. PayPal continues to do well, hitting new 52-week highs there. Peloton was the biggest. Those were the two biggest contributors. Peloton, the biggest gainer, 11% on the day with an acquisition we'll cover in just a little bit there. In the NASDAQ, biotechs were your weak spot there. We got a new strain of virus out there potentially. So Moderna selling off, not only selling off on the release of the virus, but a vaccine, I should say, but also just selling off on that potential new strain. All across the biotech land today, you're going to see pressure. So if you happen to have anything related to biotech, that'd be probably your weaker area of a portfolio today. Amgen down almost 3% on the day. Gilead Sciences actually hitting new 52-week lows. All of them across the board. It wasn't that there was news or something on one particular stock which dragged down the rest. Just wasn't the case. If you're looking at the Qs, it just seems happy to kind of finish out the year right up here, around 45% year to date if you're following along. It's obviously great performance, very rare for it to gain that much all in one year. For now, we're up 45%, seems to be hanging in there. If I go over to the S&P 500 here, trades exactly on point with its historical average. Our research members have that post where we go through the average performance by day. It's plugging along. It's doing exactly what it should do there. And so no problems with that there. We are seeing, though, a slight pull to the downside. You guys know why, right? Do you know why? You know why. I've been sharing this with you here. The stock market doesn't like to be up between 15 and 20%. This is not my opinion. This is 100 years of returns. Doesn't like that. It is statistically more probable, as you can see, that it will be up between 10 and 15%, or over 20%. It doesn't like that 15 to 20% range there. We're currently up about 16%, and we've been floating off of the 17.5%. So we got up there, and it kind of looked like we were just going to go for 20, but now with very limited days left in the rest of the year, we're floating back towards that 15%. You could see that it's very unlikely that we finish in that area. Only 7.9% of all years did we finish up between 15 and 20%, 27 over 20%, and 15 between 10 and 15%. Thankfully, we're not dealing with anything down here. You can see when the market starts to fall and post negative returns, that typically it tends to be a strong down year. Think of 2018, for example, down more than 10%. That would be towards the end of the year there, of course, what we're talking about. So if we look at the S&P 500 today, mostly a tug-of-war type day. You had some outliers in the mix, but if you were to do like a scatter plot of it, you're going to see basically everything just broken between positive and negative on the day. Not a big deal. Typical holiday performance. CarMax down 8%. That's going to be earnings related. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. What else do we have? Paycom. Paycom, one of our positions we've had for a while, continues to get better and better. This one obviously breaking the new highs. That's a standout name. Mosaic to the downside here, breaking below the 20-day moving average. And some of the virus stocks, Etsy being one of them, 4 1/3% gain on the day today. So it's kind of normal there. Not normal. I mean, it's obviously exciting, but kind of good there. No new FinTips videos this week, actually, giving everybody a little bit of a break. We've got lots of good ones, though. I hope you'll check them out there, whether you want to retire early or you are retired trying to figure out conversions. Really made a solid push here over the last couple of weeks to try to cover some of the more detailed end-of-year planning things and the new year, hooray, I'm going to start saving sort of things, so that as we get into the New Year's resolutions, those of you that say, I'm retiring early, you've got some of the knowledge there and hopefully some of the lessons for you. And then, of course, our research side, if you want to join the research page, $13 a month, I hope you'll check it out. It's very, very clean, sort of simple education based on data. So when I say simple, we try to put it together in a simple way so that it's not complicated to understand, show very clean visuals so that you understand when we talk about historic performance, statistical performance, volatility, you understand what we're talking about rather than me just say, buy Etsy because it's going up. I mean, anybody could do that. So really more educational in content there. Let's go to the sector breakdown here for the day and take a look and see what's going on. Here we go. So if we look at the sectors overall today, basically a little bit to the downside. Here's your one-day sorting. When are we launching this, by the way? Charlie? When are we pushing this thing out? The sector thing? When does that go out to customers and research? No, I'm asking. Is that something they can have soon, or? Oh. I think we've cleared all the... Cleared it out? All right, well, it's coming soon, I think is the point, right? We don't have anything else to wait on. No, don't hit the button yet, because I'm forgetting something. Jeez, okay. But anyways, this is a tool that we use and are launching for our customers apparently any moment now because we can. So let's take a look and see what we've got. Sector-wise, broken down a little bit weak. You know the rules here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because if we look at energy, it is the worst performer today, worst performer over the last 5 days. That is the tax loss selling area that you know to expect. Financials actually holding their own. If I go back over 5 days here, you can see the weakness, the tax loss selling starting with energy. We understand that. Financials got a little bit of a boost from them being able to buy back their shares. But other than that, right, that's the weaker area for the year. If you look at tech, it held up today and has been holding up because if we look year to date, this is your best performing area. So there's no chance you're going to see tax loss or selling there because there's really no losses to be had, but you're also not going to see any profit taking into the end of the year. Who wants to pay tax now when they can just wait a week and a half and pay taxes, 14, 15, 16 months later? So sector-wise, that very much stays true with what we'd expected over the last couple of weeks, what we've been talking about inside of there. No real pressure in the tech space. I'll go over and we'll take a look and just see kind of what's been going on there. You know that tech is sitting at new highs. We've got strength in Apple. We've got strength in Microsoft. If you want to look out here just through this quarter, it's been an impressive quarter for tech. Most stocks are above positive for the quarter. If you look at the weakness, it's mostly Intel. You look inside of there, it's deal-making type companies there like Salesforce.com, and it's some of the semiconductors that started to pull back. Not all of them, just some of them like Intel and ACAM that have started to pull back there. Nothing too crazy to report on there. If I look in energy here real quick, just take a look over the last, there we go. For the quarter, energy's recovering off of its lows, looking really good, but today it was just weak across the board. We've seen that, like I said, over the last 5 days. You can very clearly see that. If you're looking for some of the names that stand out as some of the gainers there, I don't know why, but you got Halliburton outperforming its peers. You got Phillips 66 outperforming its peers. So those two stocks may be worth a look to see what's the deal. I didn't catch any news or anything on that, but that might be something to take a look at. All right, moving over to new highs, new lows for the day. Let's go over here. You got 23 new highs, 1 new low. Your new low is Gilead Sciences. I already mentioned that to you. Continues to get worse and worse there. Is there any support for Gilead in the, is there any support? We've broken all of it. No, we're broken all support here. You got to go way back. Man, okay, you're talking Fibonacci levels. If you believe in that or follow that, other than that, you have no real support going all the way back to 2018. Oh, yuck. Okay, so Gilead Sciences is in some real trouble there. This is the kind of one where you don't want to guess the bottom. You want to see it make a bottom first, let everybody else chase it. You jump in when the trend changes if you're interested in that one. New highs. Actually, I got a lot of them if you want to take a look. APTV, take a look at this one. Little short breakout here at highs. Maybe it consolidates a little bit more, but that tight pressure up at highs, refusing to pull back while the market pulls back. That's a good one as well. SVB Bank, we talked about yesterday, breaking out. Also had another good day today. I like that one. IDEX is the same thing. Talked about this one as a breakout. It continues to break out today, making new highs. I like that one. Edward Life Sciences. Here's a new one, kind of new one. You got a series of equal highs here today. You're lacking on the volume. That kind of frustrates me. You got a lighter volume rally to new highs. You don't like to see that. You want to see commitment, people excited, algorithmic buying, index buying. You just didn't see that today. Sort of speculative buying today. Really on no volume, no real news there, but that one came in on the list. Paycom, I already mentioned that one, going well, looking good. I'll point out Ingersoll Rand, also kind of a consolidation pattern there for my technical traders that like playing breakouts. There's a couple for you here today. And maybe ISRG. That's what I typed. No, I didn't. Okay. Same thing. Series of equal highs. What's really impressive about this one, if you're looking in, it's a tough place to invest or to trade. But if you like this, you got a series of higher lows, right? People like that. Whether you believe it or not, what you're looking for is the momentum, right? You're trying to see that when it sells off, there are less sellers than the time before and the time before. That's all that's telling you. So when people say, these charts don't work, man, you can't, it's technical, it's like voodoo. All right, if you're believing in just one little pattern working, what you're trying to do is look inside and you're trying to actually see what the thought process is, what the selling pressure is here, and that you can see is very, very light. Broke out to new highs today, volume a little bit above average, so that one beats the other one there in my opinion. Going over to stocks in the news, let's take a look, and if you have questions, feel free to ask now. We'll let the stream catch up because it takes a minute or two while I review this. CarMax moving lower here today. Beat on earnings by 30 cents. Revenues came in weaker than expected. Also, I don't know if you know this, but repos, kind of a moratorium on repos, that's about to expire. And in Florida, I believe they said 1 in 6 car payments is technically behind, just in Florida. So that could be an issue, right? But nonetheless, you had an influx of new and used car purchases there. Revenues coming in weaker. They did not participate as much in that. Means maybe Vroom and Carvana taking over a little bit. Does it? I don't know. Peloton's buying out, who are they buying? Precor. So if you're familiar with the fitness equipment, Precor, they're buying them for $42 million. Sort of an analog fitness machinery, maybe not their Stairmasters and things like that. Otherwise, an analog fitness company being bought out by what's obviously a digital fitness company there, maybe for some of the machinery or maybe for some of the patents and things like that. Nonetheless, Peloton at highs there. It's presumed that they got a good deal. Pfizer pulling back as well. That's all biotech here today. That is something we've already covered. Apple hitting new high, or not new highs, but almost new highs. 3% gain on the day with the electric cars that they are working on self-driving in apparently less than 4 years. We'll be seeing cars with maybe little Apple cars driving around. I don't know. Lululemon down 3.5% today. They're going overseas, so expanding overseas. A lot of money committed to that, so that may be the concern there. Volume a little bit higher, a little bit weaker on the day. Tomorrow you got Simon Property Group. They will be paying out a dividend of $1.30. Not tomorrow, but it's ex-dividend day today. And Paychex reporting earnings tomorrow. I did not see that. So Paychex, you're probably familiar with what they do, sitting at almost new highs there. They've got earnings coming out first thing in the morning, so that's something that we could probably be talking about tomorrow. What else do I have for you? I think that's it. I'll take your questions if you happen to have any, and we'll see. Digital dollar soon with Square to be part of it there. Yeah, there's a bit of a push there, I'll give you that. What's Facebook? I haven't heard anything much about Facebook lately with their attempts. Did they just drop Libra? I don't think they did. Revamping it or something. Harry, oh, well, I know why you don't like Apple cars. Yeah. Harry's over there at Apple at night trying to pop their tires and stuff. Nope, I don't want you Apple cars. You like JP Morgan to break out fairly soon. Yeah, you had to be patient on banks this year, but I agree. Over the last couple months here, as financials have woken up a little bit, there's some clear leaders and some clear laggards, like Wells Fargo being one of the laggards. Yeah. Which chart looks best for banks to start a new position? It's actually pretty simple. You could just overlay over the last, well, you'd say this quarter. So you would take the charts. I can't do it here. I'd do it for you. But you could overlay the big banks over the last quarter and just see like which ones are showing the most momentum, the most volume there. Maybe it's not something you have to go nuts looking at. It's definitely not Wells Fargo. I can tell you that. Let's start with that one. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Who we missing in there? Let's go quarter to day or last 3 months here. Look performance-wise. Let's see who your standouts are. Did I just do that fast? Come on, man. Come on. He did it. Okay, I'm going to make it so you can see the dates here a little bit more. There we go. So here's your big banks performance-wise over the last 3 months. Up here, your standout names, Morgan Stanley. You got Citigroup there leading the way. I would argue JP Morgan's a good one as well. It comes in like a fourth place, kind of a close second. Goldman Sachs there. You can see Wells Fargo towards the bottom, Bank of America towards the bottom. What I would then do is take a look at the volume. I would look at any short interest changes, things like that, to see if it's real buying pressure or if it's just sort of large sector rotation. But you've got some two standout names there, Citigroup at the moment and Morgan Stanley maybe as an option. Just for you, Dr. Horton. Quick review. Yeah. You'd like to understand how a crypto Bitcoin ETF works. Are there any? I don't think there still are allowed to be any. Blockchain and some digital like format type, but I don't think there's any coin ETF at the moment. Nope. SEC's all over that. Yeah, solar did well again. Yeah, it's just been on a tear. Getting extended now. Careful, right? So this is not something you change or chase now. That's solar. TAN is a ticker symbol they're talking about there. Obviously very extended now. You know what happened last time. Got a little ahead of itself. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just needs a little bit of a break, right? So interesting there. Wells Fargo's key to getting out of their funk is to fabricate more accounts. I see that question, that comment. Oh, I like it. Yeah, it's the only company I've been really hard on. Thoughts on Skyworks? Bought it at 144. Patience. Yeah, just patience if you want to go over to that one. It's kind of dead money at the moment. I don't know that it's rounding off. You don't like to see that it's not making new highs, but I don't think it's a problem in here. I don't think it's the type of sector that's going to present any problems either. I think it's just being patient if you're if you want to hang on to it. I like it. Alibaba, there we go. 255 is a good place to start a new position. You like this? Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the week. These 250s, low 250s in here. Would even be great if you had a flush out day to the 200. But if you say starting an initial position, I don't blame you there. Don't blame you. Install a backup generator to keep Jazz running and charge that dough-kart. Does anybody really care if we have an office? Like, I always often think about that. Like, with the virus and everything, would you care? I mean, I could just work from home, right? Take you to my kitchen, making a sandwich, guys, be that guy. I mean, everybody's working at home now. Nobody comes by the warehouse. If you come by, you can ride the dough-kart, though. I'll tell you that. You got to be under 6'3", we found out, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. Why is Newmont running with the announcement of stimulus news? Oh, stimulus news. Got a little bit of a pullback in Newmont today. You got a little bit of a pullback in gold overall. They had their run up, right? It's that same concept. I think the problem here is we didn't have anything surprising in stimulus. If anything, today, Joe Biden's comments about this is just the first of stimulus. He's going to be pushing for more. And let's see how Georgia goes, right? He may be able to easily push for more stimulus. So whether you agree or disagree with handing out checks to airlines and all of us and everything, there could be a lot more of that coming. I forget the question, but yeah. Get one of those Tesla Powerwalls. I looked that up the other day. It said I needed 5. I'm like, what? I thought you just need 1. I was kind of into it for a little bit. 5? What are you doing with 5 of these Tesla walls, man? All right, I will wrap it up there. Let you guys have a good rest of your day. We got to get this thing charged up. We'll see you next week, actually. So have a great Christmas, a very happy holidays to everybody. If you're celebrating with family, enjoy your first socially distant Christmas in a while. It'll be interesting for everybody. And we'll be back. I appreciate all your support here so far this year. We will be back through the last week of December. So we're not done for the rest of the year. But enjoy your holidays, and we'll talk to you soon.